2.5 million lives and counting. Lights extinguished before their time. Beautiful stories cut short, just part way through a chapter. Unfinished sentences all the world over. Jesus, is your cross big enough for this? We've seen our hospitals become quarantines, places of healing transformed into colonies of contagion, propped up on exhausted legs of all too human angels, unable to touch without a thin layer of protection those they tended and served, eyes wide behind visors of fear and masks strapped too tight, drowning the voices of those who can't breathe. Jesus, is your cross big enough for this? We've heard the cry on the streets of those who can't breathe, a desperate plea of a moment, but more a movement, hundreds of years in the making, now exploding with a knee pressed down on a neck, exposing what was there all along. We've been ever seeing but never perceiving that blood remains red and white is not neutral. The worst of us was hashtagged, dehumanising our neighbour through fear of the other. Our sisters and brothers are beginning to wonder the same thing as a watching world. Jesus, is your cross big enough for this? We've seen scars across humanity, but not distributed equally, an equation where gender equals disproportionate violence, and this too an old story, retold and rewritten with each generation. From casual remarks in sports interviews to marks left on skin by the very ones we trusted. Or worse. Jesus, is your cross big enough for this? And occasionally, when the noise stops, I think of loved ones not seen for so long, and of schools like empty museums without a curator, and lost jobs and families dislocated, those queuing for nightclubs now signing up for food banks, and the faceless person with scars on their wrists who could have been me if I'd had their script. And the tears needing to fall to be noticed, but too tired to muster even an ounce of pity's moisture. And I glimpse my own heart and recoil at the sight of the sadness of all the ways I am not what I hoped for. This is not what I hoped for. I ask you, Jesus, is your cross big enough for this? Jesus, your cross is big enough for this. Son of God, you walked among us as a man. You poured out all your likes and pitched your tent right in the middle of the mess. You made God down to earth and gave bed hair to the divine. This broken world couldn't handle you, too dazzled by one so at home in his skin, fist-bumping outcasts, giving beauty to ashes and telling demons to step outside. You knew the only way was to swallow death whole, separated from friends, your own quarantine imposed by those who knew better. A double-blind trial brought you to the hill, and murderous carpentry put you on full display to the trolls, to the world, to me. My God, why have you forsaken me? Your cry of dereliction, a benediction to an absent father. No miracles this day, no great escape or grand finale for this Messiah. Word of the Father, now in flesh expiring, lungs rattling from cardiac failure. Or is it a broken heart? You stared the monster down, Jesus, for me, for us, for everything that was ever beautiful and broken. The hopes and fears and all the years' tears were met in thee that day. The horizon convulsed as you vaccinated creation. Our sin and sickness became your skin graft. And as the mystery of asystole drew near, the impossibility of life's author flatlining for love, 3 words that since the beginning the cosmos has been dying to hear. It is finished. Then silence. And Saturday. History blinks, an ambivalent shrug as the world ticks over. But whispers and half-forgotten memories dare us to believe the echoes of Eden, even in this foreign land. Your cross is big enough, Jesus. All dreams come to an end, but nightmares too. And the world will awaken when you finish your work on the new day.